What's up, guys? What's up, Ravens fans? Appreciate you hopping into another post-game live. The Ravens lose to the Colts 22-19. Shout out to, before I get into this terrible game, shout out to DeBear7120. He had the closest Zay Flowers guess, and that was 38 yards. Zay ended up with 50 total yards. Yeah, and he's a Colts fan too, so there you go, man. Great day for you. I replied to your YouTube comment, so just hit me back. But yeah, terrible game. Game of fumbles and turnovers and self-inflicted wounds, and you would have thought it was like a torrential downpour. I know it was raining early, but like it was kind of a light, casual rain as the game went. No crazy winds like we thought. And what happens? Just fumbleitis. First half especially, but just mistakes throughout the entire game. I mean, there's just so much to get into. I don't even know where to start. First half fumbles. I think we had 5 fumbles. We lost 3. I mean, it just can't happen. It can't happen. It's just self-inflicted wounds. Like I said, you could blame the rain to a certain extent, but Colts are dealing with a little rain, and they didn't fumble. I guess the Kyle Hamilton strip sack on Gardner Minshew that we couldn't recover somehow, and missed out on 3 right there. But that was a fumble. But, I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? The Colts took care of the ball. They did what they had to do. They controlled the game on the ground on their end. I mean, yeah, Zach Moss had 30 carries for 122 yards. I mean, am I reading that right? Some Colts fans did say in my comments before that I'm underestimating their run blocking against our run defense, and it proved to be true. I mean, they had success on the ground. I'm not saying that's the entire reason we lost. The reason we lost is self-inflicted wounds. You could blame the refs at the end of the game. Did they miss a holding call, a defensive holding call on Zay Flowers on that 4th down conversion? Absolutely. Can't argue that. And that would have been a first down, and Tuck would have probably easily made that field goal, and we win. So, I mean, huge call. But I don't want to put that all just on that one call. We shouldn't be in this position. You know what I mean? It was 19-16 after the safety. Shout out to Jordan Stout putting the ball on the 2-yard line. Minshew ends up stepping out because there's some pressure. They get a safety. We're up 3, and they go tie the game. You know, I mean, we needed to kill the clock. And I know Gus Edwards got banged up, and he was out, and there's a lot of running backs influx coming in and out, but we got to put the game away. We had many chances to put the game away, including a 61-yard field goal. Now, it's hard for me to trash Tucker, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. He saved us so many times. He's the greatest kicker of all time, but got to put the game away. Yeah, and the face mask. Shout out to Trevor. Exactly. They missed a face mask on Zay as well. I think the defensive holding call was really, really obvious. You know, sometimes they miss the face masks in the pile of everything, I guess, but there's no excuse for that either. You're right. It's a tough game. It's a tough game. Tough game. Let's look through some more stats here. Gardner Minshew, 227. Lamar had a great day on the ground. He tried to take over with his feet. I don't think we were throwing downfield a lot. I'm not sure if it was open. This is, you know, a post-game live reaction. I have definitely not been able to dissect film, and it's kind of just a raw, emotional game. I had all these notes from the first half and how I was going to talk about the game and how we overcame the fumbles and won at the end, and then it just got chaotic. You know what I mean? I know Ravens fans, we probably felt like we kind of had it, especially when there's 2:04 left. I think it was 2:04, and the Colts got 1 timeout, and they're punting back to us. We get the ball. Zay Flowers fair catches it instead of running to avoid that 2-minute warning. If we would have got that 2-minute warning, we saved so much time. And then we had a penalty on top of that. Basically gave the Colts back the ball with 2 minutes left. I mean, you're asking for it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to put the game away. And we usually do. We usually do put the game away. That's why I think I'm surprised. And I was prepared to have this talk because I thought we had the game at the end there, that we overcame it and we were still able to put it away and beat the opponent that we should have beat. And what happens? Dumpster fire. Just missed field goal. And I know it's 61 yard. Like I said, I'm not trying to be hard on Tuck. He was short. It's a really tough kick. The Colts didn't want to kick 60 plus either. They punted, or they went for it. They avoided kicking the field goal. I think we had a 62-yard shot in overtime that I felt like maybe we should have tried, but I guess they were confident that they could have got the first down, and Isaiah likely dropped an easy first down. Lamar had a first down to Zay. He threw it behind him. I mean, it's just a game of self-inflicted wounds. It's just sloppiness. I go back to my original point. You would have thought this was like a hurricane game, really, like yesterday or something. It was raining the last few days really hard, and they were like, oh, it's going to be a really nasty weather game. It kind of didn't end up being that. I mean, the rain got a lot lighter. There was no wind, really, not enough to affect the game, under 10 miles an hour. So it's hard to put this on the weather. This is just sloppy ball. You know what I mean? And Sam Mustipher snapping the ball when Lamar's not realizing it's coming, snaps it on the ground. Lamar being careless with the ball, fumbling again. Just, a story of self-inflicted wounds. Harbaugh said footing was an issue on the long kicks. Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. The field was wet. It was really, really raining before the game, too. Once they took the tarp off, it was pouring on that field. So that probably is the reason that they weren't able to kick super long field goals. I wish we could have got 5-10 yards closer. Matt Gay had no problem hitting, in the 50s. Shout out to Matt Gay. Incredible game. Won the game for the Colts, just banging 50-yard field goal after 50-yard field goal, including the game winner. Shout out to him. That incredible. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough pill to swallow. Let's go through some more stats here. I didn't even see. Zay Flowers, our leading receiver, 8 catches. Heavily involved, but 48 yards. Just weren't throwing downfield at all. I feel like we could have got something downfield against their secondary. It probably was, there's their front pressure, which we knew. I mean, we said that in a pregame too. DeForest Buckner and Pay, and that's a force up front. And we got 2 starting linemen out. We definitely noticed that the starters were out in this game. I agree with that, but I still just don't see and don't agree that we should have lost this game. We shouldn't have lost this game. Before I thought that, and after I watched it, we had so many chances to put this game away. It felt like we were just screwing up. We're just making so many mistakes. Andrews not really involved, 4 for 35. Aguilar, normal game for him, I guess. Bateman, 1 catch, 6 yards. In the game that Odell is out, Bateman is even more of a ghost than the first 2 weeks. So that's confusing. Just not a good day on offense at all. I mean, there's some positives on defense to take away. We got Roquan leading the way, 13 tackles. Brandon Stevens with a nice day, 11 tackles. Great pass break up there to have saved that touchdown, or it would have been on like the 1. They probably would have scored there. I think it was to Pierce. It's a kind of a jump ball. Brandon Stevens ends up knocking it out, and he had that ball too, you know what I mean? So shout out to Brandon Stevens. I think he's starting to play like really well. I'm gaining confidence in Stevens, but we need Humphrey back. But regardless, that's not the story of this game. Our defense played well enough. We let up that some drives at the end. I think they were getting a little gassed, and the Colts were moving the ball and starting to connect downfield a little bit more, but Kyle Hamilton, 9 tackles, 3 sacks. That's crazy. 3 first-half sacks, too, and a strip sack that we just couldn't recover. I don't know how we couldn't recover that. Little things like that just switched the whole game, right? Like, we would have got 3 on that at the end of the half if we would have just picked it up. And I know it's hard to pick a ball up, but Jeremiah Moon and I think Steven, like, they had great chances of grabbing that ball, and it just goes out of bounds, I guess I saw Bobby put up a thing on X saying that the spray drills aren't working as much as they should, Oh gosh. Anybody in the chat? What's going on, guys? It's a rough one, man. What's up? What's up? Sizz Nizzle. Thought Bate left hurt. Did he? Did Bate leave hurt? I don't know. I missed that if that's the case. If he did leave hurt, then that would make sense why he had one catch. If he didn't, then yeah, I'm confused. Zach Bunch, go Colts. Yeah, what's up, man? Congrats. Good game. Nah, it was a hell of a game. I mean, it's an entertaining game. It's just one that I feel like we gave away. And there's a laundry list of examples of how we gave this game away. Bateman actually just tweeted, that negativity ain't go work on me this year. We gonna bounce back. That negativity is not gonna work on me this year. We're gonna bounce back. Okay, that's what he meant to say. Zach Bunch, missed calls on both sides. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, the one that sticks out to me, that's implanted in my mind, is that 4th down, no holding call on Zay Flowers when we easily should have got that holding call. I mean, it's obvious. The announcers were saying it. Everybody's saying it. The coaches are freaking out. It's a big missed call because that was 4th down. Now we get to move for a 1st down and probably kick a 50-yarder or maybe closer if we gain more yards. And I'm sure Tuck would have made that. I mean, Tuck was short from 61. That was the longest attempted field goal today. So I said y'all had it won. Yeah, I know. I thought we had this game. I really did. I had a whole thing prepared of how we overcame a sloppy game to still pull it out and put the game away at the end. We need to put the game away at the end. And I think, Gus going out did not help. Gus is able to move the rock. We missed Justice Hill. I still just don't think Drake and Melvin Gordon are explosive enough. And, as much as we say we can just plug and play backs and it's real easy, I think we missed some power and explosiveness today from the running backs. Lamar kind of had to do it on his own. Lamar, 100 yards, right? 100 rushing yards from Lamar. Where in the world am I going? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 101 rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground for Lamar. That's a lot. And I'm not saying that I'm happy that he can do that and put the game in his hands, and he converted a lot of plays and got out of a lot of messy situations using his legs. But I feel like we could have had more success throwing downfield. I guess that pressure was just too much, and it was just sloppy, man. The first half, like half the drives we were fumbling. That can't happen. It can't happen. You're not going to win games like that. And we got 2 tough division games coming up. Cleveland, at Cleveland next week, at Pittsburgh the week after. And I know they're struggling and have holes too, but we play sloppy like this, every week's going to be a nail biter, tight game. We just can't play like this. There's no excuses. No excuses. Brandon Stevens has to go. I don't think he has to go. I think he's playing well. I think Brandon Stevens is playing. Is he a star in this league? Is he like a shutdown corner? Absolutely not. I'd like to see this scenario. I'd like to see Marlon Humphrey come back, and he'll be outside. Rock Ya-Sin be outside. And I'd like to see Brandon Stevens get some looks in the slot too. I agree that Brandon Stevens is not a number 1 corner, but look at the situation we're dealt right now. I mean, we got Brandon Stevens, Ronald Darby. We just lost our Darius Washington. We saw a little bit of mullet came in for Geno later in the game. Jalen Armour Davis is there. I mean, we don't have a lot of talent in the secondary right now. I mean, it's a fact. I think Stevens is playing hard. I like his physicality. He had 11 tackles. Is that right? Yeah, Brandon Stevens second on the team, 11 tackles. Now, we can nitpick his game, but I think he's in too big of a role. I'm just saying I like Stevens for where we could use him moving forward once we get Humphrey back. I think Stevens is a piece for this defense. I like what he's bringing, but no, yeah, you're right. He can't be in a premier role. I definitely agree with that. But the defense did enough, you know what I mean? Obviously not because we lost. I understand, but I'm saying there were so many mistakes on offense and so many missed opportunities and so many turnovers that we were just putting that one fumble that we in early in the game. I think it was Lamar who fumbled. I mean, that's a boom right there, 3 points for the Colts. That's not on our defense. Our defense actually held them. You know what I mean? So there wasn't too many times that we just couldn't stop them. Now, we definitely gave up too much on the ground. I'm not happy with Zach Moss being able to get, and he did have 30 carries, which is crazy, but 122 on the ground, we usually don't give that up. So that's a credit to Moss. That's a credit to the Colts run blocking, their linemen. And it's a knock on our defense because we pride ourselves on having incredible run defense, and not too often do we let up over 100 yards on the ground. 140 total rushing yards for the Colts. That's a recipe for success for them. You got an ugly game, and you got the Colts being able to run on the ground and pound the rock and keep time and possession on their end, and we're turning the ball over and being sloppy on our end. I mean, it's just not a good recipe for football. We should have put this game away. Too many chances to put this game away. And I'm repeating myself now, but this is why we go live. We get the emotional, raw response. I'll have a much more composed video tomorrow after I look at some film and watch the press conferences and see exactly what happened. But right now I'm just rambling high on emotional thoughts because we should have had this game. All right, what we got in the chat here? We got to trade for a corner, Brandon. Yeah, no, I'd love that. Because even when Marlon Humphrey comes back, can you just trust that no one else goes down, or maybe that Marlon is himself? I don't know exactly. I trust that Marlon's going to come back and be healthy, but would it be mind-blowing if he re-aggravates something or another corner goes down? We're still super thin there, and the guys that we thought we may be able to trust, like Jalen Armour-Davis, I don't think we can. He's not getting a lot of opportunity. I think Rocky Ya-Sin will be all right, and then we'll have Marlon. We will get Pepe Williams back in a few weeks, so that he'll be in the mix, I'd say. Arthur Mullet's still not playing a lot. I'm not even sure why Mullet is on the 53, but that's beyond me. I would definitely love to trade for a corner, and if we don't, especially draft one high next year. I think we have to work on our pass rush and our corner. We're going to have to build through the draft now. We're not going to be able to get these big ticket free agency guys because of Lamar's contract and a lot of the big spending we're doing. It's hard to notice it because more than half of the guys that are tied up our cap are out right now. Marcus Williams, Marlon Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley. They are the huge cap numbers. And when you don't have those guys on the field, it's hard to, we don't have a lot more talent elsewhere. So I get it. Definitely would love to trade for a corner. I don't know who would be available. We're probably not going to be able to get like a Jair Alexander, somebody that I would love to have opposite of Marlon Humphrey. We almost had Darius Slay in the offseason, but then we probably wouldn't have got Odell, and I would have rather had Slay at this point. I love Odell, and I still think Odell's best days are ahead of him for the Ravens. Once he gets back, I just hope he can stay healthy consistently and consistently perform. I think he could be big down the stretch in the playoffs, and he's just a big game, big moment guy, and I feel like the leadership that he's brought to our team is worth it, but I would have rather had Slay at this point. I mean, we're drowning at the cornerback position. Our secondary's hurting. Trade for an edge. Yeah, I think we need to trade for an edge. I mean, obviously it's going to be one or the other. We're not going to probably trade for a corner and an edge. But over a running back, referring to Sis Nizzle's comment here, I'd rather trade for an edge over a running back. Yeah, I think Gus will be fine. Justice Hill's got a turf toe, so that might linger. But I feel like we can plug and play to an extent. I know that it's not as good as JK, and it's not as good as Gus and Justice Hill, so we're going down here. But we do get Keaton Mitchell back in week 5, and I think he'll provide a lot more explosiveness. I'm hoping that Justice Hill's day-to-day, like Harbaugh said, it's hard to trust Harbaugh's injury reports, but I think Justice Hill's day-to-day, which means that he's all right, but turf toe does linger. So we do need a running back. I get it, but I would rather trade for an edge. I'm getting worried about this edge now. I mean, Clowney's playing well, but now we don't have Owe or Ajabo. I mean, the two guys that we've been talking about all offseason, these young guys, these young pass rushers that need to come in and step up, then now they're not even on the field. And, it's Tavius Robinson and Jadeveon Clowney. I think Clowney is becoming one of the best value pickups we could have got. We're paying him $2 million. I mean, Clowney is playing a ton for us right now and playing well. So, but we need another edge. We do get Tyus Bowser back as well in a few weeks, hopefully. I haven't heard much, but he should be coming off IR. Let's catch up here in the chat real quick. Love the fairness. Yeah, man, you got to be fair. You got to be fair, Zach. I'm never I definitely am biased a little bit, like, towards my team. I'm sure we all have that. Like, I get more excited about certain players than maybe I should. David Ajabo might be one of those guys. Like, during this offseason, I was like, we got a pass rusher. Like, we stole him in the second round. And that story's still being written. I am not by any means writing David Ajabo off, but it's a slower kind of start overall to the pass rush than I wanted or expected. But I feel like you got to be fair. You got to take both sides. We took the L. You got to take the L on the chin. I don't love it. I feel like we gave this game away, so that sucks. But see you in the playoffs, maybe? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Anything else, guys? I probably didn't talk about every detail of the game. I'm going to make a more detailed post game, but Jadeveon Clowney just said on Kyle Hamilton, I call him the Avatar, 6'4" at safety, can run, can hit. I like playing with him. He's a smart guy. He's going to bring it. Yeah, Kyle Hamilton. Shout out to Kyle Hamilton. McDonald was creatively blitzing Hamilton, and that's probably the reason he got 3 sacks. But, man, just the explosiveness from Hamilton, the timing to be able to get those sacks, and he's 6'4", he's super long. I think Hamilton can do it all. And he's only growing, you know what I mean? This is his second year, the start of his second NFL season. And we saw him really come on strong last year, and now we're just seeing him evolve into a star. I mean, Hamilton's one of our best players on defense, especially right now without Marcus Williams and Marlon Humphrey. It's Roquan and PQ and Hamilton and Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, these are the guys that are really stepping up for us and really making a name for themselves in Hamilton's case. Love what I see. Love what I'm seeing from Hamilton. But yeah, guys, tough win. Or loss. Jeez, I can't even think straight right now. Tough loss. But we'll rebound. We got Cleveland next week, Pittsburgh after. This gotta be a wake-up call just for the offensive side to take care of the ball, be more efficient. Hopefully we can get some linemen back. I feel like Mustipher didn't have quite as good of a game today, and that's just beyond the missed snap too. He just wasn't able to block well. He did an incredible job against Reeder last week, but Colts defensive line presented different challenges. So not a great day for them. Lamar was under pressure, but I still am just confused. I really need to look at the film. I wish we would have been able to push the ball downfield a bit more. I feel like Zay leading our team with 48 receiving yards and having 8 catches tells the story that we're just not throwing downfield. We weren't able to get chunk plays, which I thought we may be able to get against the secondary, and it just didn't happen. Lamar kind of resorted back to having to do it all on the ground himself, and he kind of kept our running game alive. We didn't really have a successful running game outside of Lamar. So just not a great game. Gave it away, I think, but shout out to the Colts. Shout out to Matt Gay. Hell of a kicking job. But yeah. But anyway, all right, guys. I'm gonna hop off. I have a more detailed post game tomorrow, but this is just once again the post game live, coming in here, win or loss, giving the honest reaction and post game thoughts. And yeah, not a good one, but we'll rebound. Long season to go. We're getting a lot of guys healthy, coming back. We got to stay healthy, obviously. Hopefully Ajabo's injury is minor, and we'll be getting a lot of guys back in these next few weeks. But this is not a loss that we could afford, really. This is definitely one of those losses that keeps things too tight, keeps us just too much in the thick of it. Starting out 3-0, especially having a 2, maybe 3 game lead over Cincinnati is so big, and you lose games like this, it kind of just evaporates, and now it's just, oh, well, it's going to be a hell of a race again. We're losing games we shouldn't lose and just can't put the game away. Can't finish a team that you should finish. So sucks. But on to next week, to the Cleveland Browns. We got 2 important division games that we're going to have to get. And if we come out of that stretch 4-1, I'll still be feeling super good about this season and getting a lot of healthy guys back. It's definitely not over by any means, but not a great day today. But appreciate you guys, everyone who came in to the live. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy some football, or if you're a Ravens fan and don't want to watch football anymore, go outside and enjoy the weather. But, yeah, appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.